So everybody has their favorite nursery rhyme growing up, whether that's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or Humpty Dumpty, but mine was Mary's Little Lambs. But most nursery rhymes don't have a lot of reality to them. So I decided to make Mary's Little Lambs my reality. Hi, my name is Mary Jones from the Adams Central FFA, and today I'm going to show you a little bit of information about how to start your business, as well as some insight into how I started mine. So one of the first things that I did when starting my business was research some of the key things that I needed to have. In the Forbes magazine, I found 7 different things of the top information that you need to have when starting your business. One of the first things was finding a need in your community, or what kind of product or service you're planning on selling. Next is making an organized business plan, funding your business, finding a location for your business, creating a name for yourself, filing for your tax ID and permits, and marketing yourself. So, under the first tab in your binder that you have there, you will see under Finding a Need a copy of the survey that I sent out. So this was my way of finding a need in my community. I created a Google form off of Google Drive and sent that to local 4-H members or different youth who may be interested in purchasing lambs, show lambs from my business, Mary's Little Lambs. So there's many different ways. You don't have to send out a Google form survey, but that's just kind of what made sense for me and my business. Here's another picture of the survey. When you're researching a need, you need to find something that's easy for you to create, or something that is realistic for you, something that you can actually do, or a service that you can give. The other thing is finding a passion or an interest for it. If you're going to be working hard to make this business successful, you have to have some kind of passion or interest in the product that you're doing. Next is making a business plan. Under the next page that you'll see is a copy of the business plan that I created when I first started my business. And as you can see, it's kind of lengthy, but here's just some of the basic information that you need to include in yours that was also in mine. I included some background information about myself, as well as a product description, some of the marketing tactics, what my competition level was going to be, and how I'm planning on handling my finances. Like I said, this business plan is kind of lengthy, so one of the things that you can understand about it is I included SMART goals. So SMART method is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. One of the examples of one of my goals is that I wanted to purchase 10 registered purebred ewes to start my flock. And whether I started with just one and expanded that to 10, I left that part kind of up to how things went. But eventually I wanted to be able to have 10 specific purebred ewes. And so that was kind of how I made that goal specific. Next, you need to create a timeline for yourself in your business plan. It goes along with how the timely and the SMART goals, making sure that you're getting things accomplished on time. And keeping it organized. For me, I wrote everything down in this binder, but it may be easier for you to just talk it through with a friend or somebody who can keep you accountable for your timeline. Funding is one of the biggest things for successful businesses. So here are a few of the ways that I chose to do funding, but there's many different ways. These are just some of the ones that worked for me. So first, you're going to see a copy of a USDA youth loan application. So that is one of the loans that I was able to fill out for youth under 18 working or starting an agriculture business. Through that loan, I was able to get $5,000 to purchase a trailer for my livestock, and that is used for hauling them to the vets, to shows, things like that. So that's been really useful for me, as well as the grant that I was able to get through a national FFA. There's a copy of my application from a couple of years ago. I filled out this through the national FFA and got $1,000 to purchase my first purebred ewe. And next, I was able to fill out, which I don't have the application for, this Continental Dorset Club grant. So through the sheep industry, each breed has their own association, and showing Dorset lambs, I was able to take my lambs and create an application to get $500 to purchase my own purebred buck. to keep my flock going. So those are 3 of the ways that I was able to start funding for my business. Another thing is finding a good location for your business that's accessible not only to you, but to your customers as well. This is a picture of our farm. You can see it's close to the road and kind of on a main road, so it's easy for us to get to. We have a large area of pasture and as well as large barns for our animals. So there's plenty of room for them, and it's easy for people to find and visit. Next, one of the things you want to look at is making sure that your location has all of the utilities and supplies that you're going to need, like heat, electricity, running water. All of those things are vital to keeping livestock healthy. So that is one of the biggest things that we had to make sure we had when finding a location. Another thing is naming your business. This is kind of something that most people kind of forget about or kind of leave off of one of the high priorities of a business. But having a catchy name that people are going to remember is something really key to being successful. I had one of the local graphic designers in our area help me make this logo that included a picture of kind of my product in the back, as well as Mary's Little Lambs, to include the catchy name of the nursery rhyme that people are going to remember, as well as including my name in there to kind of make that connection. That's also something that I was able to put on my business card and incorporated that, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Now, tax IDs and permits aren't fun, but they're also a necessary thing. So when you're bringing in profit or revenue in your business, it is very necessary to get your tax ID and permits through the IRS. So there is a picture of the IRS homepage or their website where you can apply for your tax IDs, permits, as well as your EIN numbers or employee ID numbers. These aren't as necessary, especially for me since I am the employee and the boss kind of all in one. I'm not paying other people to go out and take care of my animals for me. So if you are starting a business that has employees, that's something that you'll need to look into. But for my business, this wasn't super necessary for me. One of the last things is marketing. This is also probably the most important aspect of starting a business. You can do things like social media, a website, merchandise, business cards to pass out. There's hundreds of different ways. I even went as far as making a backpack and hoodie, as well as address labels with my logo on them to use. So that is one of the ways that I got the word out for my business, as well as starting my own website. There's a picture of the homepage of my website. I included my logo on the front, as well as some of the pictures of the ewes that we had available for breeding, and some of the ewes that we were selling as well. So I kind of tied that all into the homepage, as well as made business cards. So I have my logo and all of my contact information, as well as the website link and an email, so customers can easily get a hold of me, as well as my personal cell phone. So having business cards like that has been really helpful to be able to pass out on the fly. So now that we've talked through all of the main 7 topics of starting a business, we're going to review some of the main ones. So finding a need in your community, whether that be through the Google Form survey like I did, that's completely up to you, but finding a product or service that you want to sell. And next is making an organized business plan, whether that be writing that down in a binder or telling a friend to keep you accountable. Funding your business through loans and grants. Finding a good, accessible location for your business. Creating a name for yourself that's going to stick in people's heads. Filing for your tax ID and permits, as well as marketing yourself. So next time you hear the nursery rhyme, Mary's Little Lambs, I hope you're thinking of me and the way that you can start your own business. Thank you.